Hello there everybody and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, the channel where we're going to talk about nature while playing games. As you can see, we are back here in Empires of the Undergrowth and we have just this Sunday done a live stream just to have a bit of a go at the game for the first time in like forever. And let's actually jump right into the series that we're doing of this game. Now initially we are going to do the story mode, and then later on we are going to go and do the arcade, for example the battle arena, and have a whole bunch of creatures fighting against one another, talk a bit about them, and do all kinds of extra fun things. But for now, we're going to jump right in with our Formica ereptor ants, the gene thief ants. And we're going to call our colony Formica Ecologica. So basically meaning the ecological ants, because you know what, we can. And we're going to make them black because, I don't know, black ants just seems natural and right to me. And here we go, here is our queen and the workers that are tending to her.
Ah, I see the queen has taken well to her new home.
It's fascinating. She has already started to spawn. Incredible, really, that we found such a healthy specimen.
How long until we can expect to see interspecies polymorphism?
We should be patient and allow the colony to grow first. I've placed food nearby. Then we will introduce the Formica fusca and observe their reaction.
Excellent. Keep me updated on their progress.
So we've got our queen here, we've got a few workers that are tending to her, and we are going to just quickly make some food stores over here. Going to make it nice and close to the entrance. That will be for later for the challengers, and so that they can quickly bring in food to the food chambers here. So thanks Megaleo for the tip to put the food chamber close to the entrance. We're going to of course do that in the main mission as well, in the missions that we do. And that's going to really help out there. And now of course the ants here are going to collect the food, and they're going to either put it here at the initial tiles, or hopefully there by the food tiles. But now of course we do need a nice chamber for our worker ants as well.
The queen has begun to lay new eggs.
Perfect. We will soon have a thriving colony.
Now of course the queen, her only mission in life is to lay a whole bunch of eggs, and she can lay millions in her lifetime. The ants that we are going to be playing as in the missions in a moment, they are the Formica fusca ants, they are the dusky ants, and they have an average of just over 3 queens per ant. So our little Formica ereptor ant here just has the one queen. It is monogamous, meaning one female. But the polygynous species that we'll talk about in a moment, like the dusky ants that we're going to be playing as, well, they can have more than one queen in a nest. Of course, that means that they can lay a lot more eggs a lot more quickly, which is quite awesome for them. Not as awesome if they are invading your house, for example, or for the other ants in the area. And there we go, we have our first chamber of workers, and they currently have nothing to do, so let's select the first mission here. And hopefully this time around, unlike in our live stream, I'm not going to die the first time we do this. On the first mission. Alright, so we're going to go difficulty, medium difficulty, because yeah, I don't want to die excessively. And let's jump right in.
This Formica fusca queen has set up home beneath a rotting log. She is fat and vulnerable. Her first brood will need to move quickly if the colony is to survive. Their priority now is to find food, and there is plenty around. But there are other hungry creatures down here. The workers will need to be vigilant.
Alright, so we're starting again with one female and a few of her tending workers. So very often what will happen with species like Formica fusca over here, they start out as winged allets. So the allets are basically those that are flying around, the reproductive females. And then also the males that also will mate with them, very often in nuptial flights, meaning that they mate while flying, and then they will come down to the ground. The female will select a nice little spot to start to nest, and there she is. She has found this rotten stump over here. She's dug down a little bit, found a nice little chamber. She's had a few eggs, and now immediately those little workers that have emerged initially, they are now going to help her by collecting food for her. Now her only mission is to lay as many eggs as possible.
The ants have encountered a pocket of woodworm. These defenseless weevil larvae will make an excellent meal for the colony. They will be butchered and carried off for processing.
So now the queen here, she does nothing except lay eggs. All the workers, the females here, will be caring for her, collecting food, raising the brood. Her only job is just having lots and lots and lots of babies. Okay, we're just going to put down another worker over here. A bunch of workers, actually. And now we should be alright to actually dig out a little bit to some of these other pockets of food. So with this species, though, the colonies are actually relatively small most of the time, with about 500 to about 2,000 workers in a colony. So it's a species with quite a small colony. It's not like things like the Argentine ants that we're not going to encounter in the game. They can have millions in massive super colonies, really quite exceptionally large colonies that they will have. Let's just see here. Okay, our food stores are full. We can just quickly upgrade these ones so that we can store more food in the small area that we have here. And we're going to just put down another chamber of workers a bit. Okay, and we're playing with fire here. We have excavated a chamber quite close to what are probably the Devil's Coach Horse Beetle larvae over there. But we are going to be putting in our first soldiers as well. I think we'll put in 2, but I think only 1 will hatch. Yeah, it takes 5 food to hatch and we only have 9. So I think we are all going to start digging along here. And we're going to face our first Devil's Coach Horse Beetle larvae. Okay, everybody ready? Let's dig through this.
The workers have uncovered carnivorous larvae of Ochica solens, the Devil's Coach Horse. They are born ready for combat, with powerful slicing mandibles for chopping up their prey.
Okay, the first one's dead.
Small, however, and must undergo a final pupation before their armor is fully developed. If the ants are fast, they should be able to overwhelm these critters.
And we made a mistake.
If the ants had disturbed the adult of these larvae, the outcome for the colony may not have been so fortunate. They must expand with caution.
Unfortunately, we did not have the numbers. This is like deja vu. Okay, unfortunately, the 3 Devil's Coach Horse Beetle larvae were just too much for us and we could not survive this. Oh, that sucks. And there we go, the second one is dead. However, I don't think our queen is going to be able to defend herself at all. No, she is unable to defend herself. And I think we are going to lose this one. And unfortunately, we again don't have enough food stores to have a whole bunch of babies hatching. Now the Devil's Coach Horse Beetle larva here, he has got very little health, but unfortunately, we are running out of worker ants. And the queen is halfway in her health. Oh, this is going to be a tight one. Maybe, just maybe we can make it. This is close. Oh my word, we did. We survived. But we can't have that happen again. I mean, look at that queen. She's got like a third of her health left. And now, okay, now we can finally collect all the food. All the dead Devil's Coach Horse Beetles. All the little... What have we got here? Dead woodworm here. Dead weevil larvae that are around. Oh, finally. Okay. Now we're just going to wait for our numbers to be replenished a bit before we carry on digging around. And we're going to just put down a few more soldiers. Because clearly we need a few more soldiers to help us fight when we open up these 2 here. Now normally the Formica fusca here will actually have their colonies in old rotten wood stumps where it's nice and easy to dig in. The female here, the queen, not the strongest of diggers, so she can't really go and excavate, for example, a solid wooden stump. We'll need to find a slightly rotten one to actually dig in a little bit more easily to then go and excavate her first chamber. Okay, I think we'll have the numbers now.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
I may have made another mistake. For some reason, there we go. Finally, these eggs around the queen are hatching. Oh my word, I thought we had a whole bunch of workers, but we don't. Oh, never mind, they did. They did. Oh my word. Okay, I thought we were going to die again. But I was being overly eager here. The little ants here around the queen, the ones that tend to her and actually take the eggs that she lays and goes and puts it in the brood chambers, they hadn't really hatched yet. Okay, now we have the numbers. Now we're just going to dig through to here. Now that we have 20 ants that can be here, that can attack the 2 Devil's Coach Horse Beetles.
In the nest.
There we go, 1 dead. 2 dead. Okay, now we are a match for the juvenile Devil's Coach Horse Beetles. The Devil's Coach Horse beetle, really an interesting little one. The larvae here don't look like, for example, the grubs that we associate with many beetle larvae. In Grounded, for example, that we've been playing, the grubs there are the larvae of the beetles in the Scarabidae. So the scarab beetles, dung beetles and chafer beetles and those types of things. But the beetles we have here are in a different group. They are not in the Scarabidae, and their larvae therefore also look different. Okay, there are no other safe pockets of food, which means we will need to go for this bunch over here, which are probably some more Devil's Coach Horse beetle larvae. So although our colony over here are basically strictly carnivorous, feeding on all the little things they find here, all the little invertebrates, other insects around, the Formica fusca ants are actually quite omnivorous. They will of course be feeding on a whole bunch of other smaller invertebrates, but they also will be tending to aphids. So they are farmers. They will have their... Oh, almost forgot to put those 7 ants with this group here. They will also be tending to aphids, which are their little cattle, drinking the honeydew that the aphids secrete. So we'll encounter that, I believe, in the 4th mission, where the aphids drink the sap of plants, and then the extra sugars they get in that they don't use, they will secrete as honeydew. And the honeydew then is basically a payment for the ants, which they will drink that. Oh, there we go.
The larvae must be protected.
And then the ants will protect these aphids against predators like ladybirds and stuff like that. And very, very nice little mutualistic relationship for the ants and for the aphids. That's of course mutualism. Mutualism where 2 species are in a mutually beneficial relationship, so both benefit from that association between them. So the aphids, they get protection against predators, and the ants, well, they get honeydew, they get food. And now we're just going to put a few more soldiers in this chamber here. I think we are also going to excavate the chamber, making it slightly larger. Now, this is a nice little spot for us to come in. These are probably a bunch of woodlice, little crustaceans that are up here.
These woodlice will make a significant addition to the colony's larders, but they are clinging tightly to the ground. It's going to take some effort to dislodge them.
You can see there, the moment they're moving, and the moment they get bitten, they clamp down onto the ground. Normally what will happen is woodlice will actually curl up into a ball, but I believe some of them would be able to clamp down like that to try and reduce the likelihood of the ants actually levering them off the rock or log or whatever surface they're on. That's also something we see with limpets, which are a bunch of species of snails which you find along the rocky shore. They will also, in the moment they know that there's a predator that's close to them, they clamp down onto the rock so that they are very difficult to actually take off the rock. Okay, we are really going here again for numbers. We learned that in the live stream. For this mission, we should not be upgrading the ants and making them nice and strong. We should just be throwing a whole bunch of bodies at the predators. Alright, now, let's dig out to this side.
Predators are loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected.
Oh, a whole bunch of Devil's Coach Horse beetle larvae. Luckily, we have not yet encountered the adults. I guess we are going to encounter the adults shortly. And I'm slightly worried here about the fact that we may be overwhelmed. 2 of the Devil's Coach Horse beetles are dead. But our numbers are not looking good. We may be in danger again. What we're going to do is we're going to be sneaky. We're going to try and just very quickly get the little guys, the ones tending to the queen, to just come and collect some food. While we are basically sacrificing the queen, just grab some food. Don't fight. Just collect the food. Okay, now we can have the horde of ants swarming. So, we've got food in the food stores. Suddenly... Oh, let's see here. We put creature info on again. Okay, our queen is looking fine. And we have defeated the Devil's Coach Horse beetle larva. Okay, so that is a potential Hail Mary approach that we can do. If you, for example, see that, oh goodness me, we are not going to make it. If you, for example, see that you need food, you can very quickly take your little workers here, your brood chamber attendants. You can put them in another group and just quickly sneak around. Have another little tunnel leading to where you want to go. And that's what we did here. I'm glad we managed to do that. That was not something I expected to work, but it did. There's actually a whole bunch of food here that we could have dug to. I don't know why we didn't dig to that. Nonetheless, we are fine again. And already a whole bunch of little woodworms over here. No match for our ants. They're going to be a nice source of food for us. Okay, our food stores are again full. That is really marvelous. We're just going to excavate some more chambers and put more workers in. And also put in more soldiers, because we clearly also need them. Now you can of course see here that the ants, being insects, they will have 6 legs, so 1, 2, 3 pairs of legs, and then the antennae in the front there, whereas the woodlice here, being crustaceans, will have more than just 6 legs. These ones have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of legs, it seems. And the woodlice are extremely important in terms of decomposition of organic matter. We chatted a bit about that in the live stream as well, which you can see right up there. But both of these are arthropods. Arthropods meaning jointed legs or jointed feet, because they all have these bendy legs and feet basically. So the arthropods basically will be things like your insects, your centipedes, your millipedes, your spiders, your barnacles, all those types of things, horseshoe crabs, they're all part of the arthropoda because they all have jointed legs. Now we've got 2 little unfortunate devil's coach horse beetle larvae down here, I believe. They're just going to be a nice little source of food now.
In the nest.
Ha! Now the intruders are no match for us because we have the numbers. There we go. Thank you, guys. Now we have literally just been throwing bodies at the problem here, just having lots and lots of ants. We haven't really specialized in them into different groups. We just have one massive group. Later on, as we continue on with the other missions, we are going to have a few more specialized groups running around. Now, let's get cracking into the next, more dangerous phase of the chambers here. But we have the numbers, so we should be fine. Now, the ultimate question is, where do we go from here? Now, we could dig out just to the extra food that is up here. I think that is what we are going to do. I know there are 2 big Devil's Coach Horse Beetle adults up here because, well, they killed us in the playthrough on Sunday, in the live stream on Sunday. So, yeah, we're not going to open them up until we have collected everything else. Now, although the woodlice here do clamp down similar to the limpets on the rocky shore, limpets are gastropods. They are basically meaning stomach foot. They're snails. They are not crustaceans. They are not related at all to the arthropods here. Very, very much unrelated. So the same strategy of protecting yourself against predators, but different groups altogether. This is kind of what we call convergent evolution, where 2 unrelated groups come up with the same strategy or body design or something along those lines. It's quite a fascinating thing, and we will, I'm sure, be talking about that later on in the series as well. And now, for the first time, we are going to actually put down some trails for our ants to make them run nice and fast. So the idea with these trails, of course, being that these are areas where it's clear of debris, it's easy to run along here, so that helps them pick up speed. And ants will very often have these little trails, and of course it is also marked with pheromones, which makes it easier for them to follow. They feel very sure-footed on these trails here, because they know, okay, well, the other ants have walked here, I must also walk here. And then we're going to take on these guys over here. Well, this shouldn't be too difficult. We've got a whole bunch of ants stinging them, biting them. Of course, the Formica fusca here, yes, they can bite, and they can also spray formic acid. And they will, of course, be using that to attack whatever is attacking them as well. Okay, I think we've cleared out that chamber. Marvelous. Nice and quick. Now, we're just going to go into this chamber over here. And you can see here, every time we click, it takes a while for the numbers to go up because the ants are still going to the previous marker. They're still following the old pheromone trail, and then they go, oh, never mind, everybody's going that direction. And then they start going to the other direction, and once they have reached that point, they go, oh, okay, we must go to over there. Of course, that is what happens when they're following pheromones. They don't all immediately go, oh, we must go way over there. They still follow the old trail until they figure out, okay, well, we should actually be following that trail over there. That's the new trail. That's what we should be following. I really have to commend the developers here of this game because they have done such a marvelous job. Not only in the design of the ants and the creatures we encounter and the way the game works, but also, and I love that, the species we observe here in the game, they all occur more or less in the same area. Scientifically, it's more accurate than a lot of other games which are kind of more like a toddler throwing a whole bunch of little toys together of creatures that don't belong. So non-avian dinosaurs, for example, fighting lions, which would not happen. But here in this game, they have, even with the beach level later on, they have even changed the species of wolf spider they had present on the beach there to from a species that doesn't occur in the area where Formica rufa occurs to a species that actually does occur in the area where Formica rufa occurs. So they've even tried to make it as scientifically accurate as possible, which I am very, very thankful for. Too often we don't have that in games. So I am really wishing the developers here the best of luck. I really hope this game does well when it's fully released now soon on the 7th of June, coming out completely. I am looking forward to seeing them do very, very well with this game. Alright, our ants have collected all the food there. I think there's nothing in the rest of the stump here. Nope. Our food stores are again almost full. Yeah, there we go. Our food stores are full. That means let's get a few more soldiers out. And once our numbers are full, we'll dig through to this chamber over here. But for now, we can dig through to this little chamber over here. There are 2 chambers. So on Sunday, Nick and I will be playing Pal World again. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Talk about all the little creatures we encounter in that game. And then on Tuesday, as always on Tuesdays, my Green Hell episode will also be coming out, and then next Friday we will be doing the next mission in the Empires of the Undergrowth here, and we'll be talking perhaps, I think, a little bit more about things like the Devil's Coach Horse beetles that we have in the nest here, because we are going to encounter them in the next mission as well. Alright, I think we have all our ants ready for action. They're not all, however, here. They're all still walking up and down, perhaps looking to see whether there are any diseased ants that need to be taken care of, any pathogens in the nest here, anything whatsoever that they need to address. We are just going to put a nice little highway up here so that when a lot of our ants die and they get replaced by ones from the brood chambers, they can run up here and meet up with the attacking ants, the defending ants, nice and easily. Alright, this is the moment of truth, everybody.
Loose in the nest. The larvae must be protected. The ants have stumbled into the path of a fully developed Devil's Coach Horse beetle, and it's hungry for breakfast. The beetle is almost 4 times the size of a black ant,
wow,
protected by thick plates of external armor. Whilst it bites at the tiny defenders, it sprays foul-smelling secretions from the end of its raised abdomen, disorientating the ants.
And that is the main problem, that odor that they're spraying there, the chemical that disorientates the ants, and you can actually see there, right on the abdomen, when they curl their tail over, you'll see the 2 little white dots there. There we go. You can kind of see it right over there. Right there, we've got the 2 glands that they use to secrete that foul-smelling compound. And, of course, in this case, disorientates the ants.
Devil's Coach Horse is dead.
One is dead. There is another one still.
To support dozens of new brood.
But this should be... There we go. That's the last one. We have officially, finally, gotten rid of everything. And we did not die this time around.
This Formica fusca colony has now established itself as a rising power in the Undergrowth. Soon their territory will need to expand above ground, where new challenges await. For the time being, however, the Queen is safe.
Perfect. Well now, that is awesome. Now we are going to just select our extra royal jelly here, because the royal jelly, that's what we're going to be using to actually upgrade our ants. We're going to make them nice and strong, give them special abilities, make them bigger, all those types of things. And there we go, we are going to just end the level here, and we're back at the, or should go back to the Formicarium now. There we
How
go.
is the colony progressing?
The Queen is exhibiting interesting new behaviors. I believe the colony is beginning to adapt.
Okay, we're going to just expand this nest chamber over here. And now that we have dug through to the surface, we can send our workers to actually come and collect some food here. And they're going to, of course, bring that here to the storage chamber. So there they go, making a little trail, most likely. Nice little pheromone markers. Collect the food, and voila. So the ants all know where to go because they're all following one another. You can see that nice little trail that they are forming. It is also very, very efficient to just run along these trails. They're following the quickest route, most likely, as they are making their way to go and collect the food. But this is, I think, where we're going to end today's episode, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me on our little adventure as we are building and expanding our empire of the Undergrowth. Hope you all have a wonderful week further. If you have got any questions about any of the creatures we encounter, do feel free to pop it down in the comments below and I'll happily answer as best I can. And then, as I've mentioned, we've got a live stream on Sunday of Pal World, where we again talk about ecological stuff while we are catching non-ecological creatures. So we'll talk about the creatures, of course, that those pals are based on. And then next Friday, the next Empires of the Undergrowth episode coming out. So until then, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Bye!